First things first, welcome to 2025, from me at least. Secondly, my lords and masters tell me that I have to advise you that if you want more of these videos, and we'll be recording most days in this year, this season, from matches, from press conferences, from the TV studios, from post interviews, then either follow the link that's attached to this video or go to substack.com and look for Graham Hunter or Revista de la Liga. The subject in hand, well, word reaches my royal ear that you're about as sure about what's going on with Dani Olmo as you are about how to handle self-assessment in tax terms. But the Olmo case might be a little bit more entertaining, unless of course you're poor old Dani Olmo or Football Club Barcelona. Last summer, Barca reacquired this fabulously talented, visionary number 10, Olmo, a Catalan who left the academy to go to Zagreb because he saw his path clearer with Dinamo Zagreb, triumphed there, having left here age 16, triumphed in the Bundesliga with Leipzig, came back here for a fee of about 50 million euros, but at that time, in the summer, Barcelona's finances and their financial fair play, such a dog's dinner that La Liga said to them, you haven't got enough clearance from us to register this guy to play. You own him, but he doesn't have a plane ticket. Andreas Christensen got injured. La Liga said, yeah, you can swap their two features. You can swap Christensen's registration for Olmo's registration, but that will last you specifically until the final hours of December 31st. If you haven't fixed the dog's breakfast of the finances that you present us by then, his registration will expire and he won't be able to play for you. Reader, he married them. Guess what happened? Barcelona, for whatever reason, despite taking in a new deal with Nike, which will last until 2038, and which eventually I think will be announced as having earned them 1.7 billion, on which I think they'll be paying Darren Dean a commission for intermediary work of somewhere in the region of 45 million euros. Despite that business, despite in the last few days them having agreed a deal to sell off their future VIP seating in the remodeled Camp Nou down the road for about 100 million euros, despite all that, Barcelona ran out of time. On January the 1st, La Liga removed Dani Olmo's registration from their books. He was no longer allowed to play for Barcelona, who owed him all the wages, all the contract, who still owe Leipzig all the money that they bought him for. But as of today, he can't play for them. Olmo's Croatian agent was smart enough to build a contract clause in last July saying, well, in that doomsday scenario, Dani's allowed to go free. And he is. But does he want to? My guess is that amidst this maelstrom of a situation that Olmo must have believed wouldn't happen, and the agent only today, a day on which there's been toing and froing between the Camp Nou offices and the training ground in La Liga, a day when Olmo trained for Hansi Flick, along with the other guy affected by this, Pau Victor, trained in preparation for a cup tie that he can't take part in. Today, Olmo's agent has said Dani wants to stay, he doesn't want to go anywhere, we believe Barcelona will fix it, but the rules are like this. It states in the statutes that once you have been registered for a club and La Liga erase that registration, you can't be registered to play for that club again, re-registered in the same season. Of course, Barca, like any big club, think they're above those rules. In the build-up to New Year, they went to court twice saying, we don't like the way this is going, will you support us? The court said no. They went to the FA, the Federation. Normally the Federation and La Liga aren't the best of chums. Barca expected support and they got none. If the rules are followed through, Olmo can't play for Barcelona again this season. But this is Spain. I wouldn't like to predict that that is what's going to happen. It's certainly not what Joan Laporta thinks is going to happen. They do have money coming in for these future VIP seats. Their situation is changing. Pretty soon, I think it's going to be announced that they can spend pound for pound exactly what they take in. You take in 20 million, you can spend 20 million. That hasn't been the case for years with Football Club Barcelona, but that in itself does not help them re-register Dani Olmo. To make sure that Dani Olmo plays for them again this season, Barcelona have to somehow bend the rules or get a third legal attempt to say there was force majeure, situation out with their control that prevented them getting their homework in on time. I'd love to be able to do you the service of saying to you, they'll pull it off, or saying to you, they definitely won't pull it off. But I don't think it's 100% clear. Barcelona are firmly briefing off the record the local media. It's in hand, it's going to take a couple of days. I don't think it's that simple. However, this being Spain, this being La Liga, this being Football Club Barcelona, it's possible that they pull something off. If they don't, here are the options for Dani Olmo. He knows that Barcelona must continue to pay his contract until it's finished. He can sit around between January and June, take some months off, which in the middle of the peak of his career, I can't see him wanting to do. I know him a little bit, having met him and interviewed him multiple times, most recently in an interview where, because he thinks that visualization on the pitch and in training helps him effect tricks, dribbling, shooting, just like visualization has become a central part of a lot of elite sport. I asked him if he visualized trophy lifts, not in terms of, I have a dream, but literally visualized lifting a trophy to try and propel him towards that situation. Don't know if you think it's a stupid question or not, but he didn't. He went, yeah, I do. I visualize lifting the Champions League trophy for Football Club Barcelona because that helps get me in a mindset that will prepare me to be more likely to do it. Now, if that's how he feels, is he going to want to leave Barcelona forever because they've made a dog's breakfast of this? I don't think so. Is he going to sit it out for a few months, not playing any football? Equally, I don't think so. Could he go and play on loan? He'd be the loaning entity. Barcelona don't have the right to loan him out because he's no longer their player as I record this. Could he say to a club, could his agent say to a club, yeah, I'll come and play for you for 6 months. It'll be a strict 6-month period. You must insure Barcelona against my injury, potential injury. Could that happen? So that he's playing competitive football, so that, for example, he can continue to play for Spain because he's registered with the club, he's fit, in form, and of course they have the playoffs against Netherlands to try and reach the Nations League final next summer. There's a lot in play for Dani Olmo. There's enormous embarrassment and humiliation for Joan Laporta and Football Club Barcelona. I think there's been enormous confusion around the globe about what's going on. The summary is this. If the rules are applied, Dani Olmo shouldn't be able to play for Barcelona again this season. Summary is, he does not today, right now, belong to Football Club Barcelona. He's a free agent. The guess is, this being Spain, just about nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. So Dani Olmo, coming to a club near you? Maybe. Dani Olmo, pretty pissed off at Joan Laporta? 100%. New year, welcome back to the same old Spanish football.